Tulsa just got shook and Dwight's empire is teetering on the edge. Season 3, Episode 4 isn't just another night of deals and bourbon, it's the episode where trust dies. Alliances fracture and the ground shifts under Dwight's feet. The stolen liquor wasn't the worst part. Nah, the real damage is happening from the inside. Someone close is about to flip. And Dwight's about to learn that loyalty in Tulsa isn't just tested, it's bought, sold, and broken in the blink of an eye. Grab your whiskey, light your cigar, because this episode is a masterclass in betrayal, strategy, and the thin line between family and empire. Let's break it down right out the gate. We're thrown into the aftermath of the distillery disaster, and the tension is thicker than a thunderstorm over Tulsa. Dwight's pacing like a man who's already lost too much to risk another mistake. His crew, Tyson, Bod, Grace, Goody, they're all there watching, waiting, and feeling the sting of failure like a fresh bruise. But Dwight's anger isn't just about the missing millions or ruined shipments, it's about trust. Family looks out for family, and this week, that bond got shattered. Tyson, with all his heart and impulsiveness, let his emotions get the better of him, trusting serenity when he shouldn't have. And just like that, the Dunmeres score their biggest win yet. Dwight doesn't explode in rage, though. Instead, he makes a move only a true leader could. He redirects his crew. Bod is put on the digital hunt, tracking stolen shipments online, blending old-school muscle with new-school strategy. Grace runs buyers to keep the cash flowing, making sure the empire doesn't bleed too hard. Tyson, he's benched, sent to reflect on his mistakes. And this is huge because for Tyson, Dwight isn't just a boss, he's a father figure. Being sidelined hits like betrayal, and the tension in that room is almost tangible. This isn't just a failed heist, it's the first crack in the foundation of Dwight's new family. The deep dive and cracks, as we know, have a way of widening fast in Tulsa. From there, the focus shifts to Bill, the biker boss whose temper is legendary and whose impulses are as sharp as his chains. Dwight's calm, calculated approach collides headfirst with Bill's chaos, and the result is as volatile as you'd expect. The two follow a lead to the getaway driver, hoping to recover what was lost. But Bill can't help himself. Doors get kicked down, threats fly, and in a heartbeat, the driver's dead. Just like that, their lead evaporates. Symbolic, absolutely. Bill's recklessness mirrors the larger picture. Emotion is starting to override discipline. In Dwight's ranks, the crew's unity is under siege, and it's only a matter of time before the ripple effects reach every corner of the operation. Meanwhile, we cut to New York and suddenly the chessboard expands. Vince, the underboss with a history of snitching, strolls into Quiet Ray's office thinking he's about to earn brownie points by reporting on Dwight's booming Tulsa operation. But Ray doesn't flinch. He doesn't even blink. He lets Vince talk, all while silently signaling that he's in control. That Dwight's rise is noted but not yet threatened. Ray's patience is cold, calculated, and terrifying. The second that Tulsa operation hits maximum profitability, Ray will move, and when he does, he won't just reclaim Dwight's empire. He'll crush anyone standing in his way. That subtle call, the one later in the episode, confirms the setup. This isn't random. Every piece, every betrayal, every tension-filled heartbeat in Tulsa is part of a larger plan. One that could implode Dwight's world before he even realizes what's coming. Back in Tulsa, Bod quietly emerges as the silent MVP. The guy's not just hacking, he's orchestrating. He invents an AI mascot, Jasper, and uses it for a viral liquor campaign. But under the humor lies strategy. He's infiltrating the Dunme network, gathering intel, and crippling the opposition from the inside. It's old-school muscle meeting digital precision, the perfect synergy. While Dwight flexes his authority, Bod's mind is the unseen force moving pieces nobody else notices. The show is telling us something loud and clear here. The next war in Tulsa isn't just bullets and whiskey. It's information, leverage, and subtle betrayals. And Bod's setting the stage for the showdown we didn't even know was coming. And then there's Tyson. His storyline this week hits emotionally like a freight train. Guilt eats at him, and he's desperate to fix the mess he created. He ropes in his dad, Mark, the ex-cop, slowly adapting to Dwight's world. And they stake out Cole Dunmere's warehouse. The tension is relentless. Every passing car, every shadow feels loaded with danger. And when Serenity walks out, the truth slams into Tyson. She's been working with Cole the whole time. His heart, his trust, his loyalty, they were exploited. The revelation is crushing, but it flips something else, too. Tyson's naivety ends here. That guilt becomes fuel. Every misstep, every tear shed, every moment of regret is forging him into someone sharper. Someone who won't be fooled again. The father-son dynamic adds layers, making Tyson's transformation not just a subplot, but the emotional spine of the episode. With Tyson's lesson seared into his mind, the episode pivots back to the heart of Dwight's operation. He's not just rebuilding after the heist. He's recalibrating. sizing up every member of his crew and every potential threat lurking in the shadows. The tension is electric because Dwight knows it's not just about stolen liquor. Anymore, it's about loyalty, control, and who has the stomach to survive Tulsa's underground. His crew is on edge. Bod's digital warfare has begun to pay off, but it's invisible, and that's what makes it dangerous. Grace, balancing buyers and cash flow, is now more than a runner. She's the artery keeping the empire alive. Tyson, watching from the sidelines, is learning fast. His guild has sharpened him, and while he's benched for now, every moment is an internal drill training him for the real test that's coming. Dwight doesn't waste time punishing mistakes. He teaches lessons, and this week's classroom is brutal. The fallout from the distillery disaster continues to ripple. Dwight convenes a meeting that's more than a debrief, it's a statement. Every glance, every word is loaded with intent. Tyson feels the weight of his errors, Bod understands the stakes of digital warfare, and Grace carries the pressure of keeping the cash flowing while Dwight watches. The Empire isn't just a business. It's a family, and Dwight's code is simple: family first, loyalty forever. But cracks are forming. Bill, the biker whose impulse often overshadows strategy, is restless. His unpredictability is a liability, but it's also his strength. And Dwight has learned to balance it, sometimes like a tightrope, sometimes like walking a knife's edge. The audience can feel it. Every character's next move is loaded. Every decision could tip the scales toward destruction or dominance. Meanwhile, the New York connection simmers like a pot left on high heat. Quiet Ray's presence is felt in every scene, even when he's not on camera. The phone call with Bill isn't just a plot device. It's a ticking time bomb. Ray knows Tulsa is Dwight's sandbox, but patience is his weapon. The offer he makes to partner with Bill and cut Dwight out is a masterstroke of psychological warfare. Bill doesn't respond immediately, and that hesitation alone speaks volumes. He's tempted, calculating, and the gears in his head are spinning. The audience is left holding their breath, because one wrong move could shatter everything Dwight has rebuilt. This is the tension Tulsa King thrives on: loyalty tested, greed dangling like a carrot, and the slow burn of betrayal ready to ignite at any moment. Back in Tulsa, Bod's strategy begins to reveal its brilliance. Jasper, the AI mascot, isn't just a marketing gimmick. It's a digital Trojan horse. Behind the laughs and viral posts, Bod is dismantling the Dunmere's network piece by piece. Emails, client lists, transaction histories, every vulnerability is exploited. He's quietly rewriting the rules of engagement. And Dwight's crew is starting to realize that warfare isn't always physical. The mix of old-school muscle and new-school tech creates a dynamic that keeps viewers on edge. Because the threat isn't always visible, Bod's approach represents the evolution of power in Tulsa: subtle, relentless, and devastatingly effective. It's the kind of clever, understated genius that Dwight appreciates, even if he doesn't show it. Tyson's personal arc continues to thicken the plot. The stakeout with his father, Mark, turns into more than surveillance. It becomes a lesson in consequences. Watching Serenity walk out, fully aligned with Cole Dunmere, delivers a gut punch that reshapes his understanding of trust. But this is where the show's genius shines. Tyson doesn't spiral, he adapts. Pain becomes clarity, mistakes become strategy, and the naive kid becomes a calculated player. By the time the stash is located, Tyson is ready not as a follower, but as someone who understands the stakes and the price of failure. The moment he calls Dwight to mobilize the crew isn't just plot progression, it's the moment Tyson begins claiming his place in the Empire. The episode keeps ratcheting tension with every move. Cole Dunmere's reaction to Dwight's confrontation isn't fear, it's arrogance. He underestimates the power of Dwight's leadership and the loyalty of his crew. Dwight negotiates cold, measured, and calculated, offering Cole's life in exchange for the stolen inventory. Jeremiah Dunmere, in his cold-blooded way, scoffs, dismisses the stakes, and underestimates Dwight's resolve. It's classic Tulsa King morality. Power comes not just from firepower but from vision, loyalty, and the ability to outthink your opponent. Dwight walks away with the goods, the crew intact, but the audience knows this victory is temporary. The seeds of betrayal are planted, and the storm that's coming is only gaining momentum. By the time the crew recovers the stolen liquor, the surface tension eases, but beneath it, the real storm is brewing. Dwight's victory is visible, but the cracks in his empire are widening silently, almost imperceptibly. Bill sits in the shadows, digesting Quiet Ray's offer, and every line of dialogue, every hesitation, signals that the next betrayal isn't a question of if, it's a matter of when. His eyes dart, his fingers twitch, the wheels spinning. The show makes it crystal clear: this is a man tempted by power, and in Tulsa, power is a currency more valuable than loyalty. Bill's internal struggle is a ticking time bomb. He's Dwight's right-hand man, his muscle, his unpredictable edge, but now he's being pulled into directions: family versus ambition, Loyalty versus empire. The audience feels that tension like a loaded gun pressed to the chest. Every scene with him now pulses with suspense because you know one misstep could ignite chaos. Meanwhile, Bod continues to shine in ways that go unnoticed by most of the crew, but are impossible for the audience to ignore. Jasper, the AI mascot, is more than a joke, it's a weapon. Bod's infiltration of the Dunmi network intensifies, and we see the subtle genius behind his moves. He manipulates data, redirects attention, and disrupts enemy operations without ever firing a shot. It's the perfect complement to Dwight's old-school methods, muscle and brains in sync, showing that the next war in Tulsa will be fought not just with bullets but with strategy, leverage, and digital cunning. Each success Bod achieves in secret sets up a chain reaction. The Dunmirs are vulnerable, and the foundations of their power are crumbling even as they believe they're untouchable. Tyson's transformation continues to gain momentum. The betrayal by Serenity and the lessons learned from his father, Mark, have sharpened him. He's no longer just the emotional, impulsive kid who made one bad call. He's becoming a player in his own right. He watches, analyzes, and acts with purpose. The emotional weight of his subplot makes every decision he makes feel consequential, and it creates a bridge between the old guard Dwight, Bill, the classic muscle, and the new blood, Bod and Tyson, who bring strategy, intellect, and emotional awareness into the mix. Tyson's arc isn't just character development. It's a mirror to the audience, showing how trust can be weaponized and how mistakes can become the blueprint for survival. As the episode moves forward, the tension between Dwight and the New York bosses becomes impossible to ignore. Quiet Ray's presence looms over every conversation, every decision. The phone call with Bill wasn't just a plot point, it was a masterclass in psychological warfare. Ray doesn't make demands. He presents options, plants ideas, and watches how men react. It's manipulation at its finest. Bill's hesitation, his contemplative silence, it's all a setup. Ray is testing loyalty, measuring ambition, and setting the stage for a coup that could leave Dwight exposed. The brilliance lies in the subtlety. To the casual observer, Tulsa seems calm. To those paying attention, every word, every glance, every strategic move is a ticking clock counting down to betrayal. Meanwhile, Dwight's leadership continues to be a steadying contrast. His calm, measured authority juxtaposed with Bill's volatility, Bod's cunning, and Tyson's evolving instincts creates a web of tension that's as thrilling as it is dangerous. The crew's coordination is near flawless when Dwight calls the shots, but cracks emerge when individual ambitions and emotions collide. Bill's desire for power, Bod's strategic independence, and Tyson's moral awakening all threaten to disrupt the fragile balance. The show makes it clear that maintaining an empire isn't just about defeating external enemies. It's about managing the unpredictable human elements within your own ranks. Finally, the episode ends by setting the chessboard for the next conflict. Dwight may have regained the stolen inventory, but the deeper battles are just beginning. Bill's temptation, Quiet Ray's manipulation, and the invisible war Bod is waging against the Dunmirs all converge, creating a pressure cooker scenario. The audience is left on edge, knowing that the apparent victory is temporary. The subtle erosion of trust, the testing of loyalties, and the slow buildup of internal threats create a narrative that's as intricate as it is suspenseful. Tulsa King isn't just telling a story about crime, it's a story about power, strategy, and the human weaknesses that make or break an empire. By the end of Section 3, the stage is set, Dwight's world appears intact, but the undercurrents of betrayal are strong, quiet, and ready to strike. Every character has a role, every secret has a cost, and the audience knows that when Tulsa explodes, it won't just be with firepower, it will be with the consequences of ambition, greed, and loyalty tested to the limit. The aftermath of the recovered liquor should have brought relief. But Dwight knows better. Tales of loyalty and betrayal run deep in Tulsa, and one misstep can ignite chaos faster than any gunfight. Bill sits quietly, calculating, weighing Quiet Ray's proposition, and you can feel the tension radiate from him. Every second he hesitates, Dwight's empire teeters closer to an unseen cliff. The audience can't help but lean in because Bill isn't just a character anymore. He's a walking question mark. His loyalty is as unpredictable as a loaded revolver, and the episode makes it clear his decision, whenever it comes, will change everything. The subtle cues, the flicker in his eyes, the shift in posture, the quiet moments of reflection signal the internal war between power and partnership. Bod continues to operate in stealth mode, and his genius becomes more apparent with every move. Jasper, the AI mascot, now has a viral presence, drawing attention to the liquor while simultaneously masking Bod's true mission. Behind the humor and clever marketing lies a full-scale infiltration of the Dunmirs network. He's harvesting intel, misdirecting competitors, and destabilizing their operation from the inside. It's quiet, almost invisible chaos, and the audience can feel the elegance of this strategy. The contrast between Dwight's old-school muscle and Bod's digital precision highlights a larger theme: power in Tulsa is evolving. Warfare isn't just physical anymore, it's digital, psychological, and strategic. And Bod's moves prove that brains are just as lethal as brawn. Tyson, now hardened by his mistakes and betrayals, is stepping into a more active role, but cautiously. The lesson from Serenity's deception cuts deep. Compassion is dangerous in Tulsa. Trust is currency, and one miscalculation can cost everything. His stakeout with Mark, his father, wasn't just about recovering stolen goods, it was an initiation into the harsh realities of the empire. The kid's transformation is subtle but impactful. He's still raw, still emotional, but he's learning to channel that energy into strategy. The audience senses it. The Tyson who walked into this episode naive is not the same Tyson walking away. He's becoming a calculated force within Dwight's circle, capable of spotting threats before they erupt. And that growth makes him critical to the unfolding war. The episode intensifies as Dwight begins to realign his crew's priorities. He's not just reacting, he's predicting. Grace's role in keeping the cash flowing becomes pivotal. Every transaction, every buyer, every delivery is scrutinized, ensuring the empire doesn't bleed again. Meanwhile, Bod's hidden work against the Dunmeres continues to provide a strategic advantage. Dwight knows this, and his trust in Bod reflects his ability to blend old-school authority with modern ingenuity. The tension between his methods and the emerging talents of his crew highlights a core Tulsa King theme: the survival of an empire depends on adaptability, loyalty, and the ability to anticipate betrayal. Quiet Ray's influence continues to loom like a shadow over the entire operation. His offer to Bill isn't just a test, it's a masterstroke in psychological manipulation. The brilliance lies in the subtlety. By planting the idea of betrayal, Ray sows doubt without taking direct action. Bill's consideration of this offer is a slow-burning fuse that promises to detonate in future episodes. The audience knows this, and the suspense is palpable. Every interaction between Dwight and Bill now carries unspoken weight. Every glance, every word, every choice is layered with meaning. The seeds of the next major conflict are planted, and the episode closes on a tension so thick it's almost tactile. By the end of Section 4, the narrative has shifted from immediate threats to the looming danger of betrayal and strategic warfare. Dwight's apparent victory is only surface deep. Underneath, loyalties are tested, ambitions are clashing, and the quiet moves of Bod, Tyson, and Bill are setting the stage for explosive consequences. The audience is left anticipating the next episode with bated breath, knowing that the true battle in Tulsa isn't just about stolen liquor, it's about power, trust, and who has the cunning to survive when every alliance comes with a price. The final act of this episode is a masterclass in tension and subtle chaos. Dwight's empire looks intact on the surface, inventory recovered, crew accounted for, but the cracks are wider than ever. Bill's silent contemplation of Quiet Ray's offer is like a storm cloud hovering over Tulsa. Every move he makes now carries unspoken weight, and Dwight, for all his experience and foresight, can feel the subtle shift. The episode drives home a crucial point: Tulsa King isn't just a story about power and money, it's a story about the human elements that can destroy even the most carefully built empires. Every glance, every pause, every silence in this episode feels loaded with potential catastrophe, and the audience is left gripping their seats, anticipating the inevitable. Bod's digital maneuvers continue to steal the show in the background. The AI mascot Jasper isn't just entertaining, it's a smokescreen, hiding the deep infiltration of the Dunmere's systems. He's flooding servers, stealing client data, and destabilizing the opposition without anyone in Dwight's crew knowing the full extent. Bod's brilliance lies in his invisibility. While Dwight, Bill, Grace, and Tyson focus on physical threats and territory, Bod is quietly dismantling the infrastructure of their enemies. The audience can't help but recognize the genius here. Tulsa King is showing that the next war is information-driven. Bullets are loud, but intelligence is lethal. Bod's moves will likely be the unseen difference when the next big betrayal hits. Tyson's growth reaches its peak in this episode. The betrayal by Serenity and the lessons from his father, Mark, have forged him into a sharper, more focused member of Dwight's circle. His stakeout of the stolen liquor stash wasn't just about reclaiming inventory. It was about learning to anticipate deception, to watch for patterns, and to turn guilt into action. When he calls Dwight, he isn't just a messenger, he's a player in the game. Someone who's starting to understand that mistakes are currency in Tulsa. Tyson's emotional journey is a quiet highlight, reminding the audience that loyalty is earned, betrayal is deadly, and the line between innocence and cunning is razor thin. The climax of the episode comes in the subtlety of manipulation. Quiet Ray's phone call to Bill isn't a threat. It's a temptation, a test, and a setup all at once. By dangling ultimate control over Tulsa in front of Bill, Ray is setting the stage for an internal fracture that promises to be more devastating than any external attack. The brilliance is psychological. Bill's silence, his hesitation, his inner conflict, all of it builds toward a betrayal that feels inevitable. And here's the kicker, Bod is likely to see it first. His analytical mind, combined with his hidden access to information, positions him as the early warning system for Dwight. The audience is left imagining the explosion to come when ambition, greed, and loyalty collide. It won't just shake Tulsa. It will rewrite the balance of power. By the end of this episode, Dwight's victory is bittersweet. He's regained the stolen liquor, strengthened his crew's bonds, and executed his plan with precision, but the undercurrents of betrayal and ambition are gathering momentum. Bill's temptation, Quiet Ray's strategy, Bod's silent mastery, and Tyson's evolving instincts converge to create a ticking time bomb. The stakes have never been higher, and the audience knows it. Loyalty in Tulsa is fragile, ambition is deadly. And the next betrayal is not just coming, it's looming large, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The final moments leave the viewers with a chilling understanding. The empire Dwight has fought to build is stronger than ever. But the threats, both seen and unseen, are multiplying. Tulsa King proves once again that in this city, survival isn't about winning battles. It's about outhinking your enemies, anticipating betrayal, and staying one step ahead when every alliance comes at a price. So, as the credits roll, the questions hang heavy. Will Bill flip for power? Or will he wait to play both sides until it all collapses? Can Dwight anticipate the next move before the empire fractures? And how far will Bod and Tyson go to protect what they've built? One thing is certain, Season 3 Episode 4 wasn't just about stolen liquor. It was the calm before a storm that's going to reshape Tulsa's underworld forever. And for fans, that anticipation is electric. Because Tulsa King never lets the tension drop, it only rises, and the fallout will be explosive.